Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Ben the Human Plays IXION. We have maxed out our science basically. We've got... I don't know why I clicked on that. We don't really have any other science to gather here. Other than... maybe we'll get some science after we connect the IXION to... or sorry, the Tiqqun to the IXION engine. We still have to get the Tiqqun there. We were able to move the Tiqqun from the moon to the Earth, but we still need about 2.1 cycles worth of energy stored in the ship. And currently, we have about a cycle, because we have 2 batteries. Each battery supports about a cycle's worth of energy, or half a cycle. So we got a total of 1 cycle. So what I'm thinking we should do is tear down... what I'm thinking we should do is tear down some of these buildings here. Though we wouldn't necessarily have to get the batteries. I'm looking at this space down here. And it's maddeningly poorly constructed. But I think what we can do is do this. It's gonna look weird, but what we can do is we can actually build... three batteries in this space. It's like even worse than I imagined it looked originally, because I thought it was 12 across, or 9 across, but it's actually 10 across. So we just have this like really weird single lane. But we're gonna throw 3 batteries into there. And that should get us the 2.5 cycles that we need to be able to fly to Jupiter. At the same time, I'm going to pause unthawing people here. And what that will do... we have 331 houses. We only have space for 2 people. So the problem is... I shouldn't have put a crew quarter here. I should have put a battery there. No. I think we can still get away with this. So let's dismantle this guy, dismantle this guy. So last episode we unlocked this guy, the optimized quarter. So it takes up the exact same space as 2 limited quarters, with the exception that it takes 10 more alloys. It's the same cost alloys per person. However, it's much more space economical. You can fit 10 more people in the same space. And it's average quality, which I think is better than limited quality. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's true. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jam this guy in here. And what this will allow us to do is it will allow us to delete 2 buildings at a time and redisperse, or like rebuild them as optimized quarters. And every section of 2 that we rebuild will get us 10 more population for this specific district. So if we do that across the entirety of the ship, that will get us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 80 more people. And then so that'll allow us to delete these 2 and replace them just straight up with batteries. So in the grand scheme of things, we'll end up with a net 50 plus this extra building down here, which is just going to give us 40 more people on top of that. So what we currently have is 318. We'll end up with 408 once we're all said and done with the big switchover. So we finished optimized quarter. That's what we're starting to build right now. The Seagull has retrieved all the science from Jupiter. So I think the only things that are going on out in the solar system now is we're trying to gather all the carbon, gather as much iron as we can, and all the silicon, and then gather all of the iron that we can jam into the ship while also turning it into alloys at the same time. I think if we scan the solar system here, there's not going to be much left. There's definitely not going to be... Oh! I might have spoke too soon. I was going to say, there definitely won't be much carbon left. Our probe launcher isn't active. Alright, let's do a quick scan. So there is carbon over here, which we might want to grab before we leave. Water, hydrogen, a little bit of iron, more water, more hydrogen. Oh, there's some carbon. Anything that's actually relatively close to Jupiter is kind of worth doing. There's the carbon we originally scanned. Okay, let's make an executive decision to fire up the old... Oh, we have plenty of workers. Fire up the old probe machine. And then fire off 2 more probes. This one over here to get the carbon. Right there. Make another probe. And then we'll get... we'll grab as much carbon as we can while flipping it over to polymer at the same time. We're building the optimized quarter. We're building a new battery. So that'll get us 1.5. This guy needs to purge. It's going to take 1.2 seconds. We're building 1 more probe here. We're still gathering all of the bodies out there. We're at 440. Okay, we built the optimized quarter, so we need to start swapping these over to the next optimized quarter. We need to dismantle them as quick as we can and flip them over to the new building. There we go. Battery has been... all of its alloy has been shipped. There we go. Smack it down. Nobody's homeless. This is a good thing.
A probe has completed its scan.
Good job. And the last probe is going to go out now. Over here. For that carbon. Let's make sure that we're not missing anything. I don't think we are. And then let's double check. So you two should only be... you should be mining all of the remaining carbon, and then you switch over to iron until we're ready to leave. This ship... there's 4 carbon. Whatever. There's a little bit of iron here. This guy's already here mining all the carbon. I'm actually going to tell them to avoid this iron. Once we move the Tiqqun, they should really only be grabbing the iron from over here, because it's the closest to the planet, and we'll be able to fill the ship with more than enough iron before we want to jump anyway. Things are going pretty good here. Food at a you know, pretty happy medium there. Building the new optimized quarter. Let's try to take stock. So we have 12 spare spaces. We can't get away with deleting one of these guys just yet. Not before we've finished another one of the optimized quarters, that is.
Probe has completed its scan.
I guess we should probably fire this guy on, and then we can turn this guy off again. And then we fire this guy up. Alright, still doing fine on number of workers. We want to clear out the bodies. Are there any more bodies lying around the solar system? Just at Jupiter. 50 people to collect, so that's not so bad. In fact, we should probably tell our ships to stop going to get bodies and focus solely on the raw resources here. So silicon is a polymer. Or is it a polymer? It's like a plastic. It's like a rubber. Is rubber polymer? It's been so long since I took like polymer chemistry and or material science. They're gonna take my degree away from me. Silicon is the mineral that you make microchips out of. So, still got our ships rolling around. There's one carbon. What happened here? Did you break? Autonomy. What happened to this poor ship? Maybe we tell him to come back for the carbon later. There. Yeah, don't come out here, because if you just pick up the one carbon, that's just stupid. Why did that guy abandon the carbon that he was after? You bonehead. I made this one high priority. Oh, high priority to collect. There you go. Okay. This one's done, so we can take down these two now. Dismantle. Dismantle. The big shift is happening. Oh, there's two more here. Oh, I didn't even see this little block of buildings here. I don't think there's an even bigger building that's like a 4x4, which would be pretty sick, honestly, if there was a building that was built like that. We could take a look. Like, if I look at... here. There's the Nihei Quarter Protocol that just generates waste. Smart Home just increases the amount of capacity in the house, which is not bad. This is actually pretty good. Both of these are. But there's the Domatic Quarter. I forget what that one even looks like. 70 crew members in a high quality accommodation. We'll probably get to that eventually, but it's a tier 3 technology, so not super high priority for us. Just keep swapping over. The whole goal this entire episode is to swap all of our living quarters over. It's probably going to be one of the most, like, boring episodes to date, but I think it's very key to set us up for success going into the next jump. People are like, what? What is he doing? You're seeing it, baby, right here, right now. Oh, man. So what are we at from population perspective? We've got 350, 328. So we could start deleting you guys preemptively. And before we delete either of these two to flip them over to batteries, I think it makes sense to really just let the optimized quarter spiral or snowball into the next buildings until we've swapped all of them over, and then you can go back and delete the two that are extra. Because the more you have space, the more we can delete all at the same time and then rebuild. Done. Fantastic. Might even have space for... I think we do have space to delete all 4 of these. Or all 3 of these. Neat. There's no place to put our silicon. Oh, no. That's what this thing was for. Oh, geez. All right. Switch the iron over to silicon for now. Just so we have a place to put it. Getting close to reaching the max on our polymer too, actually. Swap both of these over. And finish deleting this one. Building is not powered. There we go. Every 2 of these means you can delete an extra one of the spare buildings over here. And we're still gaining alloys while we're doing this big swap over too, which is really nice. And speed up time a little bit. It's actually getting stacked up in our furnace because we don't have enough trolleys to move all of the alloy out of the building while we're moving alloys to these buildings to be built. Yeah, we can't have more than 2 in construction at one time right now. So I think we'll reconstruct this whole block here.
Administrator, a new request awaits your attention.
You people are so needy. I'm trying to rebuild your entire residential quarter all at the same time. What do you want? There are a lot of cryonic pods in storage, living with the knowledge that loved ones could potentially be alive, and in cryonics is not having a positive impact on the crew. Could you are you kidding me? Do you think that some people survived the moon apocalypse and you think they're your family? That's insanity. Unless it's like your long lost, you know, super grandson or something. To ensure humanity's survival, the Tiqqun will need as many crew members as possible. Addressing the buildup of cryonic pods in the station stockpiles is recommended. 50 cryonic pods in 24 cycles. How many people can we awaken per cycle? Pause. You can awaken 3 per cycle, which means we need to be awakening at least 2 per cycle from now on. The tricky thing about that is we don't have the spare population right now. Well, we have a little bit. All right, this is going to eat into our ability to flip over buildings as quick as possible. But so be it. The people are needy. They have wants and desires, apparently. Once they tear these 2 down, we can start putting up another one. We'll just have to keep in front of the cryonics chamber, essentially. Get this building out of the way so I can build its replacement. Thank you. Three out of 50. Well, as long as we're able to keep building 1, it should be fine. These will take a bit longer too because they're on the other side of the ship from where we're storing our alloys. So I have to come all the way from over there, all the way from over there. There we go. And go ahead and delete 1 building. Could get 2 buildings, I think. And then, of course, once we've reached the pod capacity requirement, we'll be fine. Our trust is actually doing really well. We have done a good job of like meeting people's demands when they ask for stuff rather than just ignoring them. Which sometimes you have to do. Sometimes it's better to ignore them and like deal with a slight debuff than promise something you'll never be able to meet and then them be like, how dare you? How could you do this to me? I'll never recover psychically and emotionally. We do have 1.5 cycles worth of battery right now. If we chose to try and move the Tiqqun, how far could we get? Not enough. You can only move to like established locations. You can't just move into like random space. It has to like orbit something. There we go. New building. How are we doing from a population perspective? We have 52 spare spaces? Really? We must be opening up or awakening people at a slower rate. I mean, we've only gotten 11, so I shouldn't be that surprised in the grand scheme of things. A little faster. Still sitting about 145 alloy. Because every one of these takes another 10, so we've actually used quite a bit of extra alloy. So we've been doing a good job of processing all of the iron. Have we gained all of the materials around the solar system right now? So we have the carbon. There's still a little carbon over here. Who's supposed to be getting carbon? The Hringhorny? Excuse me. Oh, there's carbon over here too. Well, all right. And then I think we've got all of the silicon, so you guys should be starting to bring iron back. You have 1 silicon in your... What are you carrying? Nothing? I don't understand. My shipment ships are doing random crap. What happened here? Its storage is full. Oh, you're right. We should probably build the next set of solar panels. Let's do it. It's gonna slow down hull integrity, but honestly, we should probably turn off hull repair for a bit now. There we go. Now dismantling more buildings. We're up to 16 out of 50 cryonic pods. The big lesson I have for people in this game is take your time. The game will try to instill, like, your people have been here too long, they're getting cranky. But honestly, like, it's better to deal with the crankiness from them being in one place too long than jumping before you're ready. So I think it really makes sense to take your time and optimize stuff as you go, rather than jumping the gun and forcing yourself into a bad situation. So we're just gonna leave this silicon in the storage here. You can have a certain amount of stuff stored in the hangar before it gets overwhelmed. So don't feel the need to clear all of it out, as long as it's just like onesie twosie things. All right, we've got 2 blocks to go, and then we're in pretty good shape. 370, we got 23 spare space. And we've woken up 19 out of 50 pods, so... Oops. Keep clicking on the thing. We will definitely open this probably next episode if we're, you know, judging by the time. I think we'll have this whole swap over finished. We'll have the batteries assembled, and then we can move the ship to Jupiter. So we'll be pretty ready to assemble the new engine and then ready to go once we're all topped up. And now our transport ships should be switching over almost exclusively, once they pull all this carbon in, I should say, they should be almost exclusively pulling in iron, and then we should be ready to rocket out of here. We're constructing the new solar panels, so we'll even have even more energy available to the ship. Should be fantastic. Now, you guys tore down the wrong building. You idiots. How could you do this to me? You're supposed to tear this one down. How am I supposed to replace this now? Oops. Science is lagging, because like I said, you get most of your science from the science ships doing all their exploration, at least until late game, when you can get your hands on some of the advanced science generation, which is pretty solid. How much spare space do we have? We don't have enough to take down both. But we can take down one and still be okay. And then we just have this guy left, replace 2 more, with optimized quarters, and then we're set to remove these 2 buildings permanently and replace them with batteries. And then we'll be able to move the ship. Especially with this new solar panel. Man, we've almost like doubled our capacity from what we need, which is wild. Food generation is perfectly even, which is nice. We're not overwhelming our storage with any extra food. Building up the third to last optimized quarter here. Carbon is still going to be really full, so we're going to try to process as much of it as we can into polymer. I almost think we should spend some time and build another set of solar panels. Just because we're going to max out our carbon storage and our polymer storage at the same time. Alright, one more of you. And then once this guy is built, I believe we can tear this guy down. It'd be nice if they took these 15 directly from the building we're tearing down and just moved them into the new building. But I think you do have to move them from building to stockpile to new building, unfortunately. But those are the rules. Now, I don't think we can move the bodies out of this, but I think turning you off will move the bodies from this stockpile first. It'll fill up the extra stockpile, and then it'll start moving them into this place, especially if we shut this one off. So I think this guy's always going to be feeding bodies to this thing, I think. Or we might have to leave one of them on. I don't know. I'll try and watch to see. Oh, nope, it is delivering to the lab. Perfect. So they'll always be delivering from this one first, and then that will eventually empty, and we can change it over to like alloys or iron or something if we need it. All right, last optimized quarter. Fantastic. And then how are we doing from people population? Oh yeah, we can tear these 2 buildings down for sure now. Take this down. Take this down. We'll replace them with batteries, and then we'll move the ship. We'll attach the new engine, and then we'll be ready to go first thing next episode. So exciting stuff. Yeah, so I think this is pretty much as efficient as I can come up with off the top of the dome of a single district for food and processing as much as we can. You can't process the silicon into electronics in this district. There's just not enough space for it. But what this district really does is it gives you a launching pad into the next zone, because you have a lot of excess workers, there's a lot of excess food generated, and you know, you still have plenty of people to be thawing out. So, all right, that part has opened up. Battery. I was like, what is the battery even contained under? There we go. So this is going to drain a lot of our excess alloys right now. The good news is we should probably swap this one over to just raw iron, because right now we're running it around like 80 alloys, and it doesn't make sense to have them split between 2 different stockpiles. So we got to build up the batteries and then let them charge. Doing fine on work conditions. We're doing fine on population. One more cryonic pod, and then we've met our promise that we promised to people. Battery made. We did it. People are even happier with us. We're at 3.7 per cycle now.
Hull integrity below 50%.
Don't worry, we'll turn it back on. Just let them finish the solar panels they're currently working on. There we go. Fantastic. Alright, we just need to let these batteries charge. This one will be charged 0.2 cycle. Oh, no. It's still charging, I see. This one's already full. How fast? Alright, she's full. Let's move the ship. Somebody's homeless, excuse me. Did we go too far? Shut this off. How is this possible? 382 and 440? Okay, it was just a brief moment. Maybe they hadn't been placed in a home yet because they had just woken up. And they're like, ta-da, you're homeless. And they're like, oh, God. You think that's the prank they pulled on them? How rude of them. Goodbye, Dead Earth. It was not nice knowing you. All right, off we go. Following the gravity well. The light scheme has changed while we're in transit. So you do lose you see how much the hull is depleting from EKP travel? That's pretty gnarly. So you don't want to travel a whole lot in the Tiqqun if you can help it. But the this guy should be counterbalancing some of it. It's at a -26, but you know, we can only do so much while we're traveling, that is. Sector battery power is dropping. But that's why we have 5. Should be plenty of time to get there. We can watch it go. Oh, I should show you guys this. You can actually see it in motion as it flies through the solar system. The wind is whipping. There's Jupiter. I love that you can see the planet approach. It's very cool. Slowing down. Firing retrograde rocket boosters or whatever it is. And we've made it. Fantastic news. Almost. There we are. Prepare the IXION for the Tiqqun connection. The extraction procedure was a success. Hephaestus's PA helped us a lot during the operation. She may try to contact the Tiqqun directly. May we follow the self-similar pattern. Let's prepare the IXION for connection. Let's check on everything inside. Purging the waste here. Iron's still being still being melted down into more alloy, although we've almost maxed out our alloy. So we do want to try and clear this group of bodies. The tricky thing is every body that we thaw out now is actually what I should probably do is stop. It's not perfect, but we can kind of pseudo store 2 materials in here at one time. And we can kind of get away with it too in the microchip zone if we really want to. But I think now's the time to finish these events, connecting up the Tiqqun and then getting ready to jump, because we pretty much maxed out our storage. We could, it'd be a little tricky to get a little more optimized. We could try and shift these people around, but if we open 26 more pods, we're gonna start running a fairly large deficit on food. We're already running a 1 food per 5 cycles deficit anyway. So I'd rather not make that worse before we can open up the next sector and make that into our food sector, for example. I think because we've done a pretty good job of setting up our industry, the only thing we can't really process right now is silicon, but we have 8 electronics to be pulling from. I'm not super concerned about getting our factory district up and running. I think food is more of our concern right now. So we'll focus on crop farms and water production next. So let's see what the event is. Working together, the crew of the Tiqqun and the team of the Seagull have prepared IXION for connection. Final attachment protocols can be initiated via the EVA airlock. We will dismantle the surplus equipment at the site and gather as many resources as possible. We have an incoming transmission.
We have received a transmission from the Hephaestus PA, Olympia.
Olympia. Let's try to bring... Let's bring our mining ships back. Because we don't need any more iron. We can start bringing them back.
Tiqqun, IXION is now in orbit and ready for installation.
Perfect.
You are not designed to calculate your own vol coordinates.
Don't tell me what I can't do.
IXION will only permit you to use previously generated coordinates or to follow the vol signatures of others that have crossed self-similar space. To make your existence worthwhile, you will need to find the coordinates of the exoplanet that Protagoras is looking for, Remus. Vanya was right about the echoes of the future. I bestow upon you this miracle, and with it, release myself so that I may embrace the sleep that was stolen from me.
Thank you, Olympia. So if you caught that last line, it is heavily implied in this game that the AIs that run your ships and different things around the game are somewhat either based heavily on human, other human brains, or I realize there's a bunch of people still on the planet. Or they they like lock a human mind into the machine or something. It's not 100% clear, but it is very interesting to imagine having your brain locked away for a very long time. But I think that was a very productive episode, if not, you know, super exciting. We did accomplish a lot. So we're going to let this event play out. We will pick up next time, though, after we have dismantled everything on Jupiter and get ready to jump to the next chapter of the game. So if you guys enjoyed the episode, please click the like button. It helps me out a lot. If you want to see more IXION or the other videos I have going on the channel, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you have your notifications on so you know when the next videos go live. But until next time, everybody, I hope you had a good one, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye, everybody!